There is two elements to the speaking portion of the meeting that we do. That is the first part of the meeting, sometimes depending upon how your clubs are scheduling it, and then the last portion of the meeting. And what I'm talking about is the actual delivering the speech, and then what we need to use to help us to improve as not only as a club, but as speakers and presenters, which is the evaluation portion. This is what my presentation is going to be about, is how and why you should deliver excellent evaluations. First off, if we never had evaluations in anything we did in life, nothing would improve from start to finish. You think of the Model T automobile. That was the very first automobile that was out there. If the automobile companies thought to themselves, I have an excellent vehicle that we can just drive every single day, we don't need to improve this whatsoever or make any modifications to it, we would be driving Model T vehicles this day still. But they all thought to themselves, we need to improve this vehicle every single year and make changes to it, because constant improvement is what we're striving for. So you saw the Model T evolve. If we do not water our lawns or our flowers, what happens to them? The lawn dies, the flower dies. That is what the evaluation portion of any presentation is crucial for, is because we need that constant improvement. We need those suggestions for improvements to continually take the next steps in our speaking evolution from one step to the next to the next. If we stay in our current, in our present area in the future, there will be no improvement in our society from at this point to 20 years down the road. Now, we all know things change because we have to evolve. We can't stay in the present situation that we're in right now, because there's no benefit to it in the future then. So that's what that evaluation is for, so that we know how to take those steps to evolve. Well, people ask me periodically, I don't like evaluations because of the fact that I don't know how to give an evaluation. Well, I'm going to share with you the 3 points in the evaluation program that's in Toastmasters in Pathways that shows you how to give that evaluation. First, you always want to start with the positives of what that speaker has done in their presentation. Like Kurt and Michelle before, they all had great points and great strong points to each one of their presentations. Now, they're different because each one of them is different. Michelle is different than Kurt. They have strengths that are different. So they all have different things that they're doing in their presentations that are absolutely fantastic. You want to call those out because you want to make sure that the speaker that is giving that presentation understands, this is my starting point. This is where my positives start at. Here's where I begin. So you want to go ahead and give them those positive affirmation statements that they have done, that either their vocal variety was excellent, eye contact was fantastic, how they were proceeding with the speech as far as their pace from start to finish, what they presented on as far as how they delivered the materials, if they had any handouts, PowerPoint presentation, how it was put together, things of that nature, so that they understand how they put the presentation together and how they delivered the presentation, if that was exactly what they intended. So that's what you want to focus on, is give them at least 4 or 5 good, strong points where they were good at. Then you want to focus on the next part, which is something to work on. Now, I know as people, we have struggles with trying to find something that someone needs to work on because we are scared that they may take offense to whatever the suggestion is. I would not be scared of delivering a suggestion for improvement to another Toastmaster, because they understand they are not perfect. None of us are perfect, that we deliver a presentation from start to finish without any areas that could be or need to be improved upon. So you want to give them a suggestion to offer to them to take that step, that is something that they're going to work on. Like for me, predominantly, I typically have issues with sometimes transitions from one topic to the next, because I use the exact same conjunction of so. It is just a crutch habit that I have still, to this day, have tried to get over. People have always told me that, and I continue to try to use different transitions. But if they just told me that I was doing fantastic and not bring that up, I would continue to try to use the conjunction so every single time in a presentation, because I would think that that is adequate to do so. So you want to give them something to work on, but you can do it in a way that you care that they want to improve and that you want to see them improve, rather than making them feel like that you're beating them into the ground like a railroad spike. We never want to tell or go and deliver this in a way that they feel worse for giving the presentation than the challenge to actually deliver the presentation. Because some of these people and some of the Toastmasters that are delivering these presentations are doing this for the very first time. So you want to leave them with the impression that it was a benefit for me to deliver this to you, rather than I just got behind and got beat down by someone who hated the presentation from start to finish. So just deliver that suggestion as in a loving way, and no one will take offense to how you're suggesting the improvement be done. But then lastly, you don't want to leave with that part. You also want to challenge them with something to take them to the next level. This could be anything, like, for instance, my hand gestures right now are below the camera level. I really need to bring them up so that you can see the gestures. Now, that could be worded as something that could be worked on in the future, but also it could be worked on to challenge me to make sure that my gestures are at camera length. Another challenge for me on this presentation is putting together a PowerPoint to take you through the presentation. Now, I decided not to do a PowerPoint, but that could have taken this presentation to the next level if I decided to just go ahead and do a PowerPoint presentation that added additional value. Now, both of those suggestions did not come across harsh at all. They were honest assessments that we can take and use for our next presentation going forward. So you always want to elevate that speaker to the next level so that they constantly see that their speeches are going to get better and better and better to achieve whatever their desired future result is. They might be trying to achieve running for an elected office. They may be looking to go and be a CEO for their company. Or they could be going for the biggest prize of them all, President of the United States of America. You don't know what their goals and their aspirations are, so you want to continue to help elevate their presentations to get to whatever their desired destination is. So that is the reason why we should strive for great evaluations. Now I'm going to show you the how to do the great, or actually, I'm sorry, that was to show you the how to do the great evaluations. I'm going to actually show you the why to do the great evaluations. And first off, the first reason to do a great evaluation is because of the fact of, like I was alluding to before, you don't know what that future aspiration and that goal of that person that you're giving the evaluation to is. So I've already covered that here just shortly previously. But then your second reason to do a great evaluation for that person is the evaluator is elevated by giving a great evaluation. Some of us and some of you might have people that work under you that you have to do evaluations for the company. By practicing evaluations, you can deliver better evaluations to your employees, as well as, even if you don't have employees that work under you, you've got family members. Some of you may have children. Some of you may have parents that they don't know what they need to do to take whatever their skill set is to the next level. If you come to that person and tell them, well, they are terrible at playing football, you should just quit, what is their first reaction going to be? They are probably going to either strongly decide that they're going to quit football, or two, they're going to play better because they want to do it out of spite because of what you just told them. But you don't know what direction that they're going to go in with that. So the delivery on that would be, the correct one would be, I know you're struggling and you might be struggling in this area. Can I help you with giving you some options to help you get better? Or do you have questions as far as playing football? Can I help you? Let them come to you then and say, well, if they need the additional help, they'll say, yes. Do you have any suggestions? And then you could say, I know this great video that I have watched before. I suggest you watch it, take some notes, and then come back to me once you've reviewed it, and we can sit down and discuss it. Or if they are looking to deliver a presentation to their company for the very first time and you preview it, you would give them the multiple positive points that they've done well, and tell them, here's what you might do to improve it. Maybe add a joke in front of it to sort of lighten the mood before your presentation starts. And then to elevate it, maybe you want to go ahead and walk around the stage a little bit to then show your before, current, and after points of your presentation so that it would sit well and it will resonate with the audience. Each one of those suggestions elicits the response from the person that's asking for it that you have a vested interest in whatever their presentation is or whatever they're doing. By doing that, it also helps you with the delivery of giving appropriate feedback where it actually elevates their product to the next level rather than taking them down several notches because their confidence was impacted. We, as all Toastmasters, we want to improve the confidence of everyone around us. You have heard sports and athletes say numerous times that they are not interested in making the people around them better. They are only interested in making their game and taking their game to the next level. Well, I could correct that statement by saying to take their game to the next level, they have to elevate the ones around them. Because it's not individuals that get to the next level, it's the team around them that takes their self to the next level, that gets people to championship level. So as a Toastmasters, we want to continually elevate the ones around us because that improves our delivery as well as taking their product to the next level. And not only does that help then us, but then that also helps the ones that are around those presenters as well. Now, you may say, why does that help others that are listening to those presenters? Well, if their level of product that they are delivering to others that are around them have improved significantly, they're going to ask the question, I've seen this person before they presented, and I've now seen them 6 months later. How did they bridge this gap between it? And I want the same thing to be done as well to myself. That brings others that are interested in Toastmasters to Toastmasters meetings to then see Joe presented 6 months ago, and he sounded like he just got out of grade school. But Joe now presented now, and that's an award-winning presentation. I want to be involved with that because I want the same improvement with my presentations. Now, I made up Joe. I didn't call specifically anybody out. But that's the other third benefit of delivering great evaluations, is because the speaker that's being improved upon, that's delivering these presentations, will elicit other people to then join the organization because they want the same improvement as well to be done to themselves. It's the idea of multiplication. If you improve one person's life and they go to 2 others and improve their lives, then those 2 others will go and improve 2 others. And that's how we change the world, one person at a time. Great evaluations can give you that effect. You can affect so many people's lives by delivering and giving them a fantastic evaluation. Now, I want to give you an example of an evaluation that I was given a long time ago that is not on that level, and then the same evaluation that is actually on the level and above. I was given an evaluation the first time that I spoke a long time ago in college, that I stumbled through the entire presentation because I did not prepare at all for it. I threw it together 5 minutes before the class started. The teacher told me at the end of that presentation that that was the best presentation that I have given in my entire life. You need to continue, and whatever you just did, continue doing it. Now, I thought to myself after that presentation, and that literally evaluation took 10 seconds. I literally thought to myself, either one, she wasn't listening, or two, I can throw a presentation together in 5 minutes that's fantastic. What would I do if I actually worked on it? Now, I knew it was the latter because she was not listening. She was on her phone the entire time. But that evaluation did not improve my skills at all. Now, when I joined Toastmasters, my first icebreaker speech, I was panicking left and right. I was giving a presentation to a bunch of people that I did not know other than one person, and was panicking about what is going to be the feedback from this person that I did not know whatsoever. They saw I was shaking. They saw my voice was wavering the entire time. And they saw that I was looking down and did not want to make eye contact with the audience. Now, they came and told me that the positives that they thought is, first, I got the courage to get up and give a 4-minute presentation. Two, that I actually did do the presentation with some notes, but the presentation itself was structured the proper way, with a body, an opening, a body, and a conclusion. And at three, that I kept the attention of the audience throughout the entire presentation. Now, they did tell me the one thing that they wanted me to work on was to not look at the ground so much, but to lift my head periodically to start using eye contact. And then to challenge me to take it to the next level is to start from day one and each day getting more and more comfortable so that I don't have to use notes as much. Now, that took me from I am concerned that I can't give a presentation to a group of people to this might be something that I can achieve over a period of time, because it took the confidence that I had at that point to be zero and added about 10% more confidence, because maybe I could actually do this, because that evaluation helped my confidence and improved it to take it to the next level, because it was a detailed evaluation. None of it beat me down whatsoever, but it was there to help me to take that next step. That's the benefit of giving a great evaluation. That is something that we don't have to be scared about delivering those evaluations. It is there to help not only the speaker, but to help ourselves to become better evaluators. So I'm going to leave you with this. You have heard many people on television, and trust me, I've counted them, that have delivered speeches and presentations that you wondered how they were able to put that presentation together with so many ums, uhs, ands, so's that you lose count after 30. What would have happened if they had great evaluators that would have shared with them years prior how to take that presentation to the next level? What effect would it have on them? You can have that resounding effect on those presenters by delivering great evaluations to the people that surround you. Mr. Division Director.
Well, thank you, Ahmad. Very enlightening. I would like to open the floor for questions if they could raise their hand in the reactions. I'm
Oops,
sure
sorry
you'll be
about that.
glad to answer it.
Yes, sorry, I completely forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. I think Kurt has something he wants to share. I don't know. Yeah, muted.
I do. Yeah. How do you help people who, in their best frame of mind, just trash somebody who gives a speech? How do you help people who do bad evaluations get better at evaluation?
Right. I will say this. I have heard several evaluations in the past of that were highly critical. And the one thing that I have told the ones that I've heard those evaluations is think of it as you being on the receiving end of it, or think of it as that you've got a friend or family member there on hearing the receiving end of it, or just any guest there. You want to leave that person with the feeling that it was a pleasure giving this presentation rather than I don't never want to do this again because I'm scared of what the feedback is going to be. That's how you have to phrase and do the evaluations. Now, usually when I've told others this in the past, they've seen then how they've done it, and they've then been able to modify it where it's more positive, more building the person up rather than you're taking away one brick at a time out of their foundation. So that's what I've done in the past, is just sat down with them one-on-one and just worked with them, because sometimes they just don't know that's the way their evaluations make another person feel, because no one's ever told them.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I've just sat down with them one-on-one and just worked with them on it.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I think Macau wants to ask you a question.
Hi, Ahmad.
Yep.
Under the legacy program, general evaluators used to help coach the evaluators. Should general evaluators still help coach evaluators to provide good evaluations under pathways?
I will never turn down a general evaluator from helping the evaluators do good evaluations. That the mentors of those people, of those evaluators, can also help. This is a group effort to help all of us become better evaluators. Not one person can do it, because each one of the evaluators evaluate differently. Like the way I evaluate is not going to be the same that the way Kurt might deliver an evaluation or the way Michelle might deliver an evaluation. Each one of us have our own delivery style in doing the evaluation. It's just the structure of the evaluation is the same, but how it's delivered might be a little different. So I am completely, fine with anybody giving, feedback to the evaluators as far as helping them evaluate.
Okay, John, you're next.
Okay, thank you. John Swindeman, currently living in Charlotte, Tennessee. The problem I saw with evaluations several years ago was in a club where, I hate to say it, but a very inexperienced brand new BPE assigned a brand new inexperienced Toastmaster who was only given one speech to evaluate another brand new Toastmaster giving her icebreaking.
Right.
And the disaster we should have seen coming.
Right.
So after that event, it was important to me to always make sure we never gave an inexperienced Toastmaster the job of evaluating a new Toastmaster.
Right.
And that would be a recommendation to help with those other questions. That can maybe sound harsh, but I think that's even in the Toastmasters recommendations, that you should accomplish at least 3 speeches before you are assigned as an evaluator. And that probably would have made a difference in saving a brand new Toastmaster from leaving and never coming back. It can be that drastic. And another thing I'd like to suggest is when you do evaluations, please don't ever come up with that dreaded line to the speaker. I can't find anything wrong with your speech. That
Exactly.
is one that I hate to hear when I've given a speech, because I know I did something wrong, but help me find it so I can improve. That's more suggestions for evaluators than a question, but I thank you for your time. It was very well done, Ahmad.
Yes, thank you, John. And both of your points are exactly correct. Preferably, we would prefer that whoever's doing the evaluation has given a minimum of 3 speeches. It's just some of the newer clubs where there's at least 17 brand new Toastmasters. Sometimes it can't be done unless we have outside help to help do those evaluations. But even if that's the case, we can get Toastmasters from, all over the district to help do some of the evaluations in the meantime. So you did have 2 great points though, or all 3 great points. I'm sorry. Yes, Bert.
I always have something to say. And I really feel strongly that a lot of times we have the tools that we have now. And when you talk to Kurt, he's going to tell you on level 1, it's very important that you learn how to give a good evaluation. Now, as part of that assignment, you don't technically have to give that evaluation to the person at the meeting. You could give it to your mentor. You can give it outside the meeting. And that's an excellent point, excellent place to get some really good pointers. And I think when new Toastmasters get to practice, and it's not in the official capacity, because that's part of when you read the tips for evaluation, if you don't have to give it at the meeting, you can give it to your mentor or whoever's helping you. I think that would get rid of a lot of the nerves and the jitteriness.
Right.
For my 5 cents worth. Is there any other questions for Mr. Gilliam? Okay, well, thank you very much. Everybody thinks that was a great presentation.